Johnny HACHEM, CEO of EDMOND Rothschild's private equity business. Very good to see you. How are you enjoying IPEM on day 2?
It's great pleasure to be here. Cannes is fantastic. Being in Paris is very nice as well. Having capacity to meet the peers, getting access to prime institutional investors and family offices visiting us. It's a great moment to share and grasp.
EDMOND Rothschild's a brilliant brand, a really well-known, famous brand. Tell us a little bit about the private markets business that you have in totality, and then we'll talk a little bit about your bit.
Private market within EDMOND Rothschild is more than an activity. It goes back to the legacy and the history of the family. The family has been active in that field for centuries. I'm not exaggerating here, that's the reality. Now, when it comes to AUMs, asset under management for the private market at large within EDMOND Rothschild, we're roughly speaking about 20 billion of third-party money, very large base of institutional investors covering all segments of private markets, debt, equity, infrastructure, real estate, buyouts, venture. So we're active in all of these areas.
You mentioned to me when we were prepping for this, you were talking about the importance of the mid-market in the buyout space and in PE. Why do you feel that? Because obviously there's been a lot of consolidation in the industry. The fundraising environment has changed a bit. What are your views on the mid-market?
Yeah, there is multiple answers to your question. Let me be very precise, short, and direct. Without the mid-market, we cannot steer change. We need change for a simple reason. Since 2008 till now, every now and then we have a crisis. We need to put capital at work to solve these issues for more sustainable world. To do so, you can't do it with large caps. You can't do it with established businesses. You need to go outside of the beaten tracks. And the best way is to use private market as a tool, because the investors and the teams and the managers within this industry can steer change by being in the driving seat in some businesses, by influencing the board, influencing the vision, the roadmap, the decision to be taken. However, it's much easier to do that in the mid-market space where real value creation can occur, in order to be in capacity to anticipate future trends rather than just react.
How would you say, though, then, this consolidation, there's been a lot of people, a lot of money plowing into private equity. Would you feel that there's a sort of a healthy process going on at the moment in the mid-market?
Absolutely. It is healthy. It's about time to get back to normal and to get back to more fundamentals when it comes to alpha and value creation. Value is back, and that's something very healthy. It's not a secret. We've been living in almost a decade with negative interest rate. Premium for liquidity was there. Everyone came to this asset class. Unfortunately, we had some amateurs as well coming and some amateurs operating in. So it's healthy to clean up a bit. And this consolidation is the result of that. However, the challenge is that and I'm extremely happy that thanks to this IPEM in the LP, we've seen some positive changes where LPs admit that importance of mid-market, and they're not only fueling cash toward large caps and large funds. It's important as well to go back to sustain this segment of the market, because that's how we can prepare businesses to be sold to these players. And as well, as I've said earlier, I repeat myself, it's very important to reduce volatility and contribute to transition on all levels to be in this segment of the market where you have the most of the impact.
So tell me a little bit about the sort of deal-making environment then. What are you seeing at the moment? Are you seeing, good opportunity for acquisitions and exits? And, what's the sort of EDMOND Rothschild view?
Let's start by exits. Today, what's happening is obvious. Fund managers are selling their best assets. When I say best assets, are the assets that cope with the current market environment. In this way, you get the best out of it in terms of multiples at the exits. They're trying to use other ways in keeping some assets to transform them through continuation funds. However, it's very important to get much more opportunities in the secondaries to increase DPI and distribution for the benefit of the LPs. And that's something very healthy. And this crisis is pushing for more engineering toward that. However, we should not use to a large extent financial engineering and start doing tricks. Nevertheless, creating liquidity is still the name of the game. So that's on the exit front. Managers are selling their best assets, and they're trying to do and gain time to transform other assets. On the deployment front, today, in my humble opinion, what we're seeing in the market, if you're not a real specialist in an area where you can influence a change and put capital at work to intentionally help a business evolve and grow. If it is about just deploying using leverage to do a deal, this is an old story. It's behind us. That's a good thing that's happening today. Nevertheless, yes, it's about value creation, know-how, and it remains a business of men and women who really has this know-how and the capacity to steer and transform businesses. In that space, deployment is still okay, and more importantly, financing these type of operations, both on the equity and debt side, the banks are still there and the appetite is here.
And are you starting to see, I'm conscious of your time, but just one more question. Are you starting to see a little bit, more interaction of the private credit side in what you do as well, in terms of sort of interest in getting deals done, direct lending, that kind of thing?
In our space, in this segment of the market where we operate, in the impact space, in the small and mid cap, in the urban regeneration field, in energy transition, in renewables, banks and the appetite is still there. We can easily raise debt either for the business or for the deals. We don't need alternative funding because the appetite is still there. Nevertheless, for other type of businesses where the bank appetite is not there, yes, the private segment is still very active.
Johnny, thanks very much for speaking to us, and have a great IPEN.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.